The National Assembly is set to enact a law that will empower the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to conduct local council elections. This was revealed by the Chairman Senate Services Committee, Senator Sunday Karimi, following the Supreme Court's judgment that has forbidden the state governors from collecting local council allocations from the Federation account. Senator Karimi urged Nigerians to keep faith that the National Assembly would ensure compliance by the various state governments. Joining us for this conversation via Zoom is lawyer Justice Wigbu. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. It's my pleasure once more.
Right. Let's begin from the decision of the Supreme Court that has been generating reactions in the first place. Some governors are saying that this has created a lacuna, and there are those who are saying that the Supreme Court erred in its judgment because in a federation or in federalism, there are only two units of government, the center and the federating units. Talk to us your impression of what the Supreme Court did.
Well, the truth is that for me and for very many Nigerians out there, the Supreme Court judgment is perfect because people have been yearning for a total sanitization of the system in this country. It's so unfortunate that some people will come out to criticize that judgment. I see it as selfishness and the lack of sincerity of purpose. For anyone who is now talking about in the federating unit, it is only the center and its component. So why can't they talk about federalism holistically? Can you just talk about one and leaving the other one? You see, the problem we have in Nigeria, people only intend to do what favors them and leaving what favors others or what favors the entire society. So for me, anybody that is not happy with what Supreme Court have done is an enemy of Nigerians.
Mm. Yeah, well, some people are saying that if that's the case, that it is not exactly what we should do. For instance, the former governor of I've forgotten the name of the state, James Ibori, he said that it is like tampering with Section 162, Section 3 of the 1999 Constitution, which allows for the joint account, and then states also helping the local government to also manage the resources. So do you not feel that they have, grounds to, having to criticize this movement or this decision by the Supreme Court?
I don't think there's any right-thinking person in Nigeria today that will criticize that judgment. James Ibori was, I think, former governor. I think, is it of Bayelsa State? But the truth there is that you can see where he is coming from. But let's look at it holistically by the law. You see, any judgment the Supreme Court has given becomes law. Yeah. And that is what we call case-made laws in Nigeria. And there's nothing you can do about it until it is set aside. Now, let me also tell you this. In law, we have what we call interpretation of statutes. When the court interprets a constitution, the statute will mean the constitution or the law. When court interprets the law, when such issues are before the court, what the court will definitely look at is the intention of the draftsman. What was the intention of the people that made the law as at the time I believe they were making the law? And that is why in law we have different interpretations of statute. We have the plain interpretation, we have the mischief rule, we have the jus in generis rule, we have the expression in exclusive authority rules, and all the rest. Name them. So the court in its wisdom, the wise man in the Supreme Court has looked at it and decided to go that way. So for anybody coming now to discredit that judgment, like I said, that person is an enemy of the country. Well, and as it is, Supreme Court have said it, it stands and it becomes law.
Right. To buttress what I said earlier, James Ibori was a former governor of Delta State. And then one of the things he actually said was the fact that if federal government is now allowed to control states, by sending them the allocation and all of that directly, then it means that the federal government might exert its power during political season, or for political reasons to control the local government, for their own reasons. When we talk about the federal might, when it comes to during election, we often give it to the federal government because it controls virtually all the resources de facto. So do you not feel that it is still plausible to some extent?
No, but that is not true. You see, you can see that reasoning. Well, in philosophy and logic, we say why all reasoning are thinking, not all thinking and reasoning. James Ibori is only thinking. He wasn't reasoning, as far as I'm concerned. So
well, you may just have to speak to the issue rather than using that hominem. Just speak to the issue.
Yes. No, no problem. What I'm saying, we use him as a case. And let me tell you, my brother, even me as justice, I'm here. Once you have brought up yourself in the public domain, you have put yourself in issue. So anybody can say anything to whatever statement you have made.
But he's not the only one. He's not the only one. We have governor of your state, Seyi Makinde, also.
Any governor that toes that line is a selfish person, as far as I'm concerned, or anybody in this country. And that's why I say that no right-thinking Nigerian today that will reason that way. Those people are only thinking, they're not reasoning. Now, let me give you an example.
Please mind your language, please. We advise that you just speak to the issue.
In the first place, I'm sticking to the issue holistically. In the first place, the judgment of the Supreme Court did not talk about control of the federal government. What the judgment said is what? The independence of the local government. As simple as that. Autonomy. And what is autonomy? Autonomy means independence. The right to be served, the right to do things. And you remember that before 1999, that has been the position in the country. So what? Send their money that how possible, or how will somebody, or how some people construe it that the federal government wants to start controlling the local government? That is an aberration. Let's be realistic to ourselves.
But well, some of the governors are saying that they know what is good for their people, and that they will look for homegrown solutions to addressing their peculiarities. I'm quoting the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde. That's what he said. Former Governor Ayo Fayose also said that no local council chairman or something like that can emerge without the support of the governor. But now the National Assembly is saying that it is looking at ensuring that the INEC, that's the Independent National Electoral Commission, are the ones in charge of the election as against the state independent electoral commissions. What will that change?
It will change a whole lot of things. Let me give you an example. We're all Nigerians. We all live here. The truth is that, have you wondered or asked yourself the reason why it has been happening that any government or any political party that is controlling a particular state, once there is a local government election, the whole local government chairman goes to that political party? You now want to tell me there's any other political party that is capable of providing or producing a credible candidate from other local governments in that state? The answer is no. The thing there is this: the introduction and the establishment of various independent and electoral commission of various states made the governors to be so powerful and to be controlling the local governments. Because it becomes an issue of this mantra of who pays the piper, dictates the tune. Because it is the state governors that appoints this chairman of the various states independent electoral commission. They tell them what to do, and they give them what they want. There's no two ways about it. In fact, let me tell you the truth, and let's be realistic to ourselves. The truth is that what the governors have succeeded in doing all this while was to handpick and make these chairmen as errand boys to them. But that is just the truth. And if you don't, in fact, there have not been election. What we have been seeing is selection by various governors. But that is just the truth. Let's be realistic in this country and tell ourselves the truth for once.
I like your positions. At the same time, some people would definitely disagree with some of your positions, even though they are valid, because they would say, fine, it's okay that we want to extricate local government from the grip or stranglehold of the state governments because of the way they've been controlling them and not allowing dividends of good governance to get to the grassroots. But they would say INEC has a lot on its plate, and it's just like, it's overstretched. And they have issues of credibility and all of that, even though the INEC chairman is already expressing optimism, in INEC conducting the local government elections. So how do you consider their valid, how do you consider their reasoning? Do you feel, it's quite valid enough? Because it's like stretching INEC resources, the issue of logistics, insecurity, and all of that in conducting the local government elections.
It's not true. Like I said, remember that the position has not always been like this. If you remember during the time of Fedeco or thereabouts, it was the federal government electoral commission that was conducting all the elections. In fact, let me tell you the truth. I'm one of the people that has even proposed or suggested that all elections in Nigeria should be held the same day. Both governorship election, local government chairmanship election, senatorial seats, House of Assembly, governorship, and presidential. It is possible. When you're going to the ballot booth, give every individual the ballot paper to vote at the same time. The only problem we have in Nigeria is just this issue of trust, because for some time, or for one reason or the other, INEC is said to may have disappointed Nigerians for one reason or the other, and that is why we are having a lot of governors today, House of Reps members, senators today, being thwarted or being given mandate by the courts. Because if people trust the INEC, you will not see many cases going to court for one reason or the other. So despite that, the truth is this: what is the yearning of the totality of Nigerians? And let me also tell you this: once a law is made, or you want to make a law, the problem we have here is that we don't consider public opinion. Once the public opinion is that the people, the majority of Nigerians wants this, the government must do that, because that is what is called democracy. And that's why he said that it's government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It doesn't matter how flamboyant or how beautiful you think it is, provided the people don't want that thing, it should not exist. And that is what is democracy. As in this cause, that is what Nigerians want. Nigerians want a local government autonomy. Nigerians want the INEC to be conducting local government elections so that we can move away from the corruption that has eaten deep into the Nigerian system in all the various local governments in this country.
I agree with you that trust is a major factor here. And I believe that that's the elephant in the room that has to be addressed, because the matter of the creation of a joint account, that's the state and local government joint account, was said to have been put in place because some of school teachers at the time were being owed salaries. Payment of the councils were not happening, and there was seemingly corruption at that level, and that was why this account was instituted in the first place. But as government is looking to change that, do you think that at the end of the day, this matter of true federalism, this matter of dividends of democracy getting to the grassroots will be a thing that we begin to see happen in our country?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, you see, when you begin to put certain things in place, Nigeria is gradually reshaping itself. If not for the major problem of insecurity in this country. Moreover, all over the country, all over the world, there are insecurity issues everywhere. But in as well as our own has a peculiarity because of one reason and political reasons, as far as I'm concerned. But you see, Nigeria is gradually reshaping itself. It is one thing to the other. And let me also make this assertion and correct this anomaly. You see, when people talk, or when some people say that the joint account was introduced to cushion effect of certain things, it's not true. The governors did it purposely, in a way it will favor them. That was a blatant lie and an allegation against the local governments in the past. And as I speak to you now, there's barely any local government you go in Nigeria that you see any single progress or infrastructure or dividends of democracy, because the governors has killed the local government system.
Well, they will not agree with you on that. They will tell you that there are ongoing projects.
I am a Nigerian.
And you have visited all the 774 local governments in this country to see that there is no development?
What I mean, I have not visited all of them. Majority of them, they are not too worried about it. Moreover, I have moved around. I have been to places in this Nigeria. At least I've gone up to half. I know what I'm saying. As somebody who belongs to the people, as somebody who belongs to the masses, who have carried out our X-ray and all the rest. So any person that is coming to say a different thing now is an enemy of Nigeria. Let's be realistic to ourselves. Go to local government. Local government have been rendered manable. They are no longer functioning. They are not doing anything. Then at the time I was asking, is it not better we scrap the local government system? Why using it to make money? Every month allocations will come, nobody will see it, nothing will happen, nobody will feel the impact. I remember in those days, I'm from Imo State, for example. So the question,
which I would need for you to quickly address, is if this move by the Supreme Court would really address the matters of true federalism and the people at the grassroots feeling the impact of the dividends of democracy at the end of the day.
I assure you that definitely the people at the grassroots will feel the impact. There's no two ways about it. And if this happens, we will not start going back to the era of where people select and elect their representatives in the local government chairman. That is what this thing is going to, is going to bring up again, because it has been like that before. Remember, local government elections is a grassroots election. In fact, that is where you play the major politics. That is where people know you and all the rest. And we are going back to the roots. And I believe everything is going to be in place and come back to reality again.
Well, you've actually, expressed a lot of optimism, in this recent judgment. And of course, many Nigerians, to be honest, are very happy with this development. But the devil in the detail is the passage of the Electoral Reform Bill, which is definitely crucial to ensuring credibility of local council elections, which the National Assembly is already talking about. But we know the National Assembly can take some time. They can filibuster. And then how do you think they can expedite this to ensure that we have it, pronto?
Yes, the truth is this, for me, if there is sincerity of purpose, it won't take to not take them time to achieve, as far as I'm concerned. Because many, well, I have to say it, I'm a Nigerian, many of the honorable members or people representing Nigeria in the National Assembly, one way or the other, are benefiting from also the corruption at the local government levels. But if they will be proactive now and tell themselves the truth, it wouldn't take time. Because what does it take to bring up the bill? Go for first reading, second reading, go to committee stage, and eventually pass it and send it to the president for assent. And I know that if such bill goes to the president for his assent, the president will not waste time in signing it.
All right. Because we still have perhaps a second or two, do you think that with the reactions we're getting from the state governors, this whole matter has been in the Constitution for now, and they have blatantly refused to adhere? How much difference would this make? Do you think that they will follow through? Although we saw reports this morning saying some states have begun to look at ensuring that they put measures in place to have their election, but is that enough?
Well, the truth is that, remember, this is a court judgment now, and Supreme Court for that matter. And the truth is that any state that did not comply with this judgment can face contempt of court. You see where the danger is. Because most times we follow things, because we say we're in democracy. We're in the civil, society and all the rest. People seem not to comply with certain things and all the rest, and they know what they are doing. But now that the Supreme Court has come out to make a pronouncement, let me ask you a question. If the Supreme Court gives judgment now and puts somebody in power in a state, and maybe the person that is there is removed, will it take time for them to comply? It will not. So they don't have a choice than to comply. And if you don't comply, it becomes contempt against you or whichever governor that is there as at that time.
All right. It's a fine place to leave this conversation. Lawyer Justice Ihuegbu, thank you so much for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.